Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Earl, you got a big shadow right across your face. Half step. Let's move the whole thing like a foot this way.
Go back a little bit. Like a little bit more. A little bit more. Right there.
You got to move the mic
Now
stand
who's
too.
going to move the mic?
Okay. There we go.
The better to hear you.
The better to be. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Earl Ofari Hutchinson, Earl Ofari Hutchinson, President of Los Angeles City Policy Roundtable. ICE, back in LA, and never left LA. Big raid. We're in the LA Fashion District now, and you had literally dozens of ICE agents that came in. Call it a sweep, call it a raid, call it a arrest, call it whatever you want. The fact is, they're here. In fact, they never left. We're concerned about one thing and one thing only with ICE and Homeland Security. Violence, shooting. We've called for a no-shoot pledge by ICE and Homeland Security. We call for that. We don't want to see any more Renee Goods. We don't want to see any more Key Porters. Both of them, unfortunately, tragically lost their life in an ICE shooting. Homeland Security, ICE, is under Homeland Security. They have clear directives on gun policy, the use of deadly force. Let me read specifically what ICE, Homeland Security, says about the use of guns and deadly force. This is not me, this is Homeland Security. Their major directive, and it's on their website, Department of Policy on the use of force. The use of excessive force is unlawful and will not be tolerated. Those who engage in such misconduct and those who fail to report such misconduct will be subject to all applicable administrative and criminal penalties. It could not be any clearer. They have updated every year, ICE, Homeland Security, their use of force, their gun policy. And it's always the same. Misconduct, criminal penalties, reporting, and the operative word is unlawful. So in LA, we're simply calling again, enforce your own policy. No more, no less. We don't want to see any violence. We don't want to see any more use of deadly force, certainly if it's unwarranted and under very questionable circumstances. We've done two things. One, we've asked for a meeting with the U.S. Attorney, and that's all. That request was made. Actually, it was made 2 days ago. We've done the second thing. We've actually reached out to Christy Nolan, who is the director of Homeland Security, and we've asked her essentially to review your policy on ICE, use of force, use of guns, and we're expecting a response. That went out. Today's a holiday. That went out a couple of days ago. We're expecting a response tomorrow. We'll keep you updated on that.
So, you have the policy there, but clearly you're not abiding by the policy, and they will tell you that they are doing what they need to do in order to continue with their operatives wherever they are. And if people are in front of them or impeding their operatives, they will do what it takes. So that would be the reason. Sure. So how do you, how do you put those two?
How do you reconcile the two? Yeah. All right, we do have the official policy. It's right here in black and white. On the other hand, in the field, they will say, and Christy Nolan has said this, President Trump has said it, everybody that's been involved with these shootings at the top has said it, that the agents fear for their life, they're under threat, they're under attack. Well, the fact of the matter is, in both cases when we've seen shootings, that hasn't been the case. You can debate circumstances about that, but the use of deadly force, and we know that they have a number of other non-lethal means of subduing someone. That's the first thing. The second thing is that we have to be clear on ICE. When they've had the sweeps, it's not the first time in LA, they've had them continually over the last year. We cannot remember, with very few exceptions, where there's actually been any guns that have been pointed at ICE agents from peaceful, lawful demonstrators. When you look around the fashion district, I don't know how many people that are working here trying to make a living, or walking around with guns, or anything that's a weapon that could be used to threaten the nation. So essentially, we're still saying, abide by your policy. The only exception, rare exception, if there's genuine threat to the safety of the nation, then obviously then you have to use whatever means possible. Anything short of that, gun policy here, unlawful, unwarranted.
It's come to a lot of people's attention that they're not getting, these ICE agents are not getting training like they, I guess it's like 47 days worth of training.
Well, you know, I think it's as part of the training. One of the things I would think would be, number one, when you're talking about the use of force, which is always a real issue, you have to know your policy. You have to know the directives. I would think you would have to know what your agency calls for. If you don't know that, there's a failure at the top to communicate. And I think, unfortunately, what's happening is we're seeing that failure to communicate in far too many circumstances. When that happens, you're going to have situations like we've seen before in Minneapolis and LA.
Can you talk about the fear because of the ICE violence in the community, please?
There is a fear. You know, many people now, when you go around, actually when you drive around Home Depot, you know, places where you've had a number of individuals that are looking for work that are not documented, they're all gone now. So the fear factor is very great. We're not saying that Homeland Security and ICE or the Trump administration is using deliberately fear. However, the fact is, it is a fact of life. So it's really disrupting lives, families, and livelihoods. Is that what we want? Anywhere, and especially in LA.
What do you know about what happened to the arrest? Do you know how many people were taken by any chance?
The report we've got so far, but that could change, that there were 5 arrests made. Now, you've got thousands of people that have shops that are working here, selling items. You had 60, 65 agents that came down here, and you had 5 arrests. I mean, something's out of kilter here. However, we're thankful for one thing. Again, there was no violence. So at least that's a good sign. All right, thanks again.
Please let me ask you. So you did say you expect an answer from Kristi Noem.
Come in, Lou.
You said you expect an answer from Kristi Noem. And I think you put a time frame on it. I don't remember what it was, but the reason I ask this is even as news reporters, when we reach out to ICE, DHS, Homeland Security, oftentimes we get no response or we get a snarky response. It's nothing meaningful. Why do you expect it?
Well, there's 2 reasons why. The question is, we have made requests, I think I mentioned that before, for a meeting, U.S. Attorney, and also we reached out to Homeland Security. The question is, it's a big bureaucracy. Would you expect really any kind of response? Yes, we would, and I'll tell you why. People seem to forget one thing when you talk about Homeland Security or ICE or the Trump administration. The last time I looked, none of them are private entities. These are public agencies. The taxpayers pay their salary, top to bottom. I think there is a responsibility on the part of a public agency, Homeland Security, ICE, Trump administration, some response. You just can't ignore that, because now the public is asking transparency and especially accountability. That's always a watchword, and it should be with a public agency. The public has a right to know. Gun policy. No shoot pledge. We're calling for that. Homeland Security, ICE. Look at your own policy directives, your own guidelines. It's very clear. You can only use deadly force under the most extreme circumstances.
Spanish?
Oh, Spanish.
Sorry. Spanish.
Okay.
Take a step, take one step to your.
Okay. Okay, which way? Which way?
That way, there you go.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ¿estamos listos? Es muy importante para los oficiales en el gobierno, sí, el señor Trump y la seguridad, Homeland y ICE. Es más importante para los oficiales tener una policía solamente sin violencia, sin las pistolas no es necesario que usar las pistolas solamente entonces una situación es muy peligroso, entonces sin peligroso no. No, una policía se usa las pistolas solamente contra a la gente. La gente, la mayoría de la gente de La Paz. La mayoría de la gente en la comunidad solamente la ley. La ley. ¿Cuál es el punto de usar las pistolas y violencia y otros métodos solamente de controlar las personas? No es necesario que autorite. Y una cosa más, estamos haciendo esta tarde una reunión con los oficiales de la seguridad, Homeland y ICE, posible la administración del señor Trump. Solamente un punto, no más que violencia, pistolas. No, nunca. Gracias. All right. So you heard.
It's always great to see.
All right. Have a good one now. Take care now. All right. So you see, we're in the fashion district now. Press conference, just finishing up with the arrest. And essentially, the issue is we've issued a call, not just for the meetings, but a call, no use of deadly force. Observe the shooting policy, Homeland Security shooting policy, right here in black and white. The use of excessive force is unlawful. Couldn't be any clearer than that. So we made that call. We're asking for meetings with the U.S. Attorney and Homeland Security. We'll keep pressing that on the use of deadly force. We don't want to see any more goods, and we don't want to see any more goods and poor jurors. No more loss of life. It's unnecessary. Thanks again for joining me today. I'm Earl Ofari, Hutchinson, the president of Los Angeles Urban Policy Roundtable.